Welcome to Screen to Speed, powered by INIT Esports. In this podcast, we dive into the journeys of remarkable individuals making waves in sim racing and bridging the virtual with the real. From the thrill of digital circuits to the roar of real life racetracks, we explore the passion, dedication, and innovation that drives the world of motorsports. We'll hear from athletes, creators, and pioneers sharing their stories, insights, and the powerful ways sim racing is connecting communities and creating pathways into motorsports. So buckle up. Screen to Speed starts now.
Hi everyone! Hi! Welcome to the 14th episode of INIT Talks. Very nice to have you all here today. Hi Benji, Ivan, Becca, oh my god, Rebecca, hi Rebecca, hi! And Hamish, oh my god, I miss you so much. I miss you guys so much. Hold on, let me move my camera a bit. Why is my camera is like this? Hold on guys. Technical difficulties, I guess. Oh no, it wasn't my camera. But it's okay guys, we can continue. It's just me having like this little insecurity because something's not aligned. I don't know if you're like this, but sometimes I'm like, oh no, something's not right. Okay, we're good to go now. That's it. I just want to fix like a camera that is like passing the line. So by the way, welcome. Now we have a special guest. Oh wait, it's here on my left or on my right. So welcome to the INIT Talks, Aloo Gobi. Hi. Hi. Very nice to have you
Hello.
here today. Hi. Hi. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. In Canada, it's the summer, so any day that's sunny, it's a good day. So I'm really happy to be here, and yeah, I'm happy to talk.
Yay! Me too. I'm super excited to have a chat with you because, oh well, a lot of things happening lately, right? A lot of fun things happening. And it's so nice to have you back on Screen to Speed Summer Cup. Like, yay! So,
It's good to be back. That's such a good series. And I had no excuse this time. Like, it's F4. The tracks are awesome. iRacing brings everyone together, so I'm just happy to be a part of it.
yes. Oh my god, I'm super happy when I met you on the track when we were like practicing with Jeremy back then, and you know, like you're like asking like how to register and everything, and I was like, wait, you're joining, like you're racing. Aloo Gobi is racing with us, and I was super happy to have you here because you know I know you for a pretty long time since I'm first time getting into sim racing, getting into my first competition. I was racing with you in the more female racers back then, with Yvonne also. With Yvonne, but you guys are in the pro class back then, and I was still in the pro AM class. So how was it like? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into sim racing? How did you like getting into motorsport, getting into sim racing games?
Yeah, you really threw it back with more female racers. I think that was such a formative moment when I discovered the series, when I discovered that there's a little bit of limelight for us girls. And shout out to the SimGrid and the bosses over there, Michael. And I always think back to those moments in More Female Racers about what it really felt to get started as a professional or an aspiring professional in sim racing. But to go back even further, just to talk about where it all began, it was on iRacing. And I was like 16, working on I was thinking about how do you drive a car in real life? Because I was just about to learn how to drive in real life, like on the roads. And I was going to go for my test and all this kind of things that were making me really nervous. Like, how do people drive side by side on the highway and just not end up magnetized towards each other. It was just
Right.
so I found iRacing, and it's like, okay, it's a place to test yourself without having to risk anything.
Mhm.
And of course, I did. I signed up. I raced a lot of MX5 races.
Oh,
And
wow.
sure enough, priorities changed.
Mhm.
But ultimately, I realized that, simulators are a way to really practice anything.
Right.
Before sim racing, I was introduced to flight simulators, and that was awesome. Like, how are you going to get to learn how to fly a 737? You're probably not going to. So,
Yeah.
racing was just as fascinating and just as educational. So, I'm really happy I did it, and that's where it all comes from.
Okay. So, iRacing was your first simulator. Was your first racing sim, you're saying? And back in the day, you raced a lot in the MX5? Wow.
Yeah, it was enough, like for the first 2-3 years. There's so much to learn when you're first starting. It's
Yeah,
desperately overwhelming.
it is.
I feel like you could be an MX5 amateur and an MX5 pro, and you'd still not master this kind of driving. So it was enough, and then I sort of slowly, as had a little bit more disposable income, it made it easier to purchase some more tracks and cars.
Right. And how was it back then? Like, your first time getting into your first race online? How was it? Like, if you still remember, how was it? Your first race online.
That's gosh, I bet it was a lot of overconfidence.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, tell me more
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh, yeah. Because, okay, well, I've always been a really good race starter,
Mm-hmm.
and I have always been able to jump a few cars in the beginning. So once you see you pass one car off the start, it just,
Oh.
your heart just starts pumping, and
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you're on top of the world because
Yeah.
you just jumped everybody. And so I bet it was a lot of overconfidence.
That was like a lot of overconfidence. And then, after that, back in 2016, you're doing racing mostly like casually, just like getting into the online race, something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was just casual stuff. It was about learning to drive on a screen. It was about learning pedals, learning the steering wheel, just
Mhm.
finding my own space even to learn how to drive.
I see. Oh, by the way, hello, Rain. We have Rain joining the chat. Hi, Rain, Jazz, and everyone. Hi, welcome to INIT Talks. We are having a chat right now with Aloo Gobi. We are talking about how did she get into sim racing at the first, for the first time, and it was the iRacing, the first sim that she got into iRacing. And you said you got disqualified in your first iRacing race. Oh my God, that's not good, but it's okay, Rain. Everybody gone through that experience. I got disqualified too after 3 hours race in iRacing, so you're not the only one. And disqualified happened to everyone. It can happen to everyone. Have you ever got disqualified in your race, Kobe?
Oh, like yesterday?
Yesterday? Wait, yesterday you just got disqualified?
It must have been like an F1600 race. I might be exaggerating about yesterday, but I was definitely doing some F1600 races last week, and they were doing it was a wet scenario with Sebring short course.
Oh, okay.
I was just sending it, not giving two hoots about what happens, and
Sending.
yeah, you get carried away. I like the X's, I like the incidence points, but sometimes you just gotta be a driver and just go for it.
But don't worry, I mean, disqualified can happen to everyone. Everyone can get disqualified, but it's okay. I mean, at least I feel like every time I crash, not like I'm encouraging everyone to crash their car into the wall in the simulator, but the good thing about simulator is that if you crash, you don't have to buy a new car. You can just hit the escape button and start again. So I'm like, okay, that's the fun thing about sim racing. Cause yeah, if you crash in real life, I don't know, like, well, it can be like dangerous for yourself, and it can be like, yeah, it costs you like a lot of money, like a lot. And I remember when I was having an INIT Talks with No.14, she was like sharing her experience, like what's the difference between racing in the simulator, like racing in the sim online and racing in real life. And she said like racing in the simulator, people, I'm not saying people are more crazy, like people are crazier, but in the simulator you got a chance to try out like a lot of different scenarios in the race, while in reil life we have that fear factor that, you know, sometimes you're just afraid to sending it because it's a real life. If you crash, you crash, you know. So that's the benefit about sim racing, like you can try out like a lot of different scenario, different way to sending it, because yeah, if you crash you can, like, yeah, back to the pit, hit the escape button and try it again.
What's that famous saying that I don't fear the man who's done 1,000 things once, but rather I fear the person who's done one thing 1,000 times. Look, if ever I'm on the racetrack again, it's really about the sim racers that I really fear, because I bet they can go really fast.
Are you thinking that sim racer can be like actually good on a real track?
I think the only drivers I truly fear are the veterans, the people who have been in one series again and again and again,
right?
And sim racers. And if you ask me, there are way more sim racers than veterans.
Yeah, true. There's a lot of sim racers out there in the world, like a lot. And you know, in the simulator, you could spend like 8 hours practicing over and over, try to get the feeling of racing, try to memorize the track, understanding the track more. And especially in iRacing, I feel like the track is just so good, you know, like for me in iRacing, I feel like you get what you paid for. Okay, we have to pay for the content, but what you get is what you paid for. Like, the track is so good, it feels so nice to drive around the track. You can actually feel the bump. I don't know, for me iRacing is just like, wow, the way they simulate things is amazing. Like, you can actually feel, and everything seems logical for me than any other sim. I'm not saying other sims are bad, but in iRacing I feel like it's easier for me to learn things because there's a lot of things that kind of disabled in other games. I don't know if you agree with me on that, or are we on the same page on that? But how do you see iRacing as a simulator?
Big shouts out to iRacing, because they were the first ones, I think, who really put it on the mainstream. I think it was adopted and revered by its customers is because of the quality. Right. The quality of the cars and the quality of, just like you said, so well said, the tracks. I think back to Sebring and how much texture there is in that track, and I don't have anything to compare it with just yet because I don't know if any other sims have that laser scan, but it's really convincing as it is.
Right.
So I really think iRacing has put a lot of time and effort into getting things right. and 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 the success they have now is it's a testament to how much people enjoy the service. So
Yeah.
it's not perfect for financial reasons, and in some ways the contact patch I'm not totally having fun with, but things can change, and with the way iRacing is always changing, I have no doubt it's only going to get better.
Yeah. I mean, they keep on not like changing, but they're trying their best, like try to keep on improving, and so does the other developer. Like other games are trying their best to like keep on improving the game and the experience for the customers. I believe in that.
You'd hope so. You pay them a lot of money every month.
Yeah, true.
And to some extent, like I know a lot of that money goes into server time and developers, but I hope there's a bit of a growth mindset to the way they their core technology, the audio, the graphics, the force feedback, and the tire model. I hope there's someone working on it all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And by the way, Rain, it's been good. You missed the MFR and you're missing sim racing in general. Oh my god, I would love to have you in Screen to Speed if you wanna race with us. Yeah, so we have a championship happening right now, the Screen to Speed Summer Cup. So we are having it in iRacing, in F124, the F1 game, and also in Gran Turismo. The Gran Turismo will coming up real soon in August. Oh, in few weeks from now. So Rain, if you wanna come race with us, please register yourself now on screentospeed.com. And also for Hamish, I would love to have you back on the Screen to Speed. We should race together at some point. Yes, please. So calling all the girls. So yes, girls, if you wanna race with us in the Screen to Speed, if you wanna practice the racecraft and everything, you can join the Screen to Speed, because I learned a lot from the Screen to Speed. Not like learning like to become a pro, but it's more like Screen to Speed is giving me a chance to try out different cars most of the time. Different cars. I mean, Screen to Speed is the one who forced me to drive the next gen in road course. Remember back then in Screen to Speed Vegas, we have to drive the next gen, and I was like, what is this car? I literally bought that car just for the Screen to Speed. Like, I don't know how to drive that car. It's a stock car, and I spun in the race. But now, 1 year later, I love that car. Like, I'm driving the next gen in road course. I had three-way, like a three-white battle going into the bus stop in next gen in Watkins Glen. And that was like amazing. So, Screen to Speed for me is kind of introducing me to something that I never tried before. Because again, in iRacing, we have like so many cars. And I mostly just drive the GT3 for road racing, and in oval I mostly like driving the truck. I think truck, Cup, and Xfinity. But there's a lot, like a lot.
There's so much to drive, and they all have so much character. Yeah. I remember when we first tried the next gen Cup car at Screen to Speed Las Vegas, and they had this sequential shifter set up.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't got one of those. So trying that for the first time felt so badass. I don't know if I can say that, but just like grabbing every gear.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're driving this big next gen Cup car and your engine screaming.
Yeah.
7,000, 8,000 revs. It was, what a car.
Yeah, what a car, what a badass it is. And also like that experience when we were like coming to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, like we were arriving at the track, like I think you were coming like later, like few hours later after all of us, I think, because I think I got someone picking me up at the airport or at the hotel, and then we're going to the track. I remember I was in the car with Eris. I think Garnet also. I forgot, Hamish, were we on the same car or not? because we were like having like this big car, and all the drivers are driving together. I mean, are coming together to the track, and it was my first time going to an oval track. I mean, before I'm getting into screen to speed, I have no idea about the NASCAR. I have zero idea about next gen Xfinity. Like, what is that? What is that? And then I arrive at the track. It's an oval track. I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. Oh, this is oval. I'm learning a lot of things, like a lot of new things at once. And that time, like, oh, this is Xfinity car. Oh, this is an oval with banking. And all the drivers in the screen to speed were very nice to me. Like, they're telling me like a lot of context about oval. Like, this is oval. This is bomb drafting. This is this is like sideways, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like, interesting. And I was like, yeah, since that time I kind of love the NASCAR and oval, because as you said, like, it's a badass car. Like, it's so loud, and you can feel like the ground shaking, like whoosh, like, oh my god, that's like the most amazing thing that happened in my life, really. Like, god. Oh wait, your microphone. Yeah, it's okay, it's all right. Everybody gone through this experience. So guys, if you guys thinking about streaming, don't worry, we will always have this audio issue. Okay, can you test it one more time?
Check 1, 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that won't be the last time it happens. Thanks for waiting.
No worries.
That experience was so out of this world, because NASCAR, Americana, Las Vegas, F-16 jets flying over.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know,
The
right?
fuel, you could smell it, and it was just, if you're a motorhead, it's just the place to be. I think if you're in Las Vegas and there happens to be a race going on the oval on the street circuit, I don't know if there's an infield street circuit. Anyways,
Yeah, there's a straight
On that-
circuit for the F1.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
On that day, I do remember my flight was delayed because there was weather from where I was coming from, and my initial flight got canceled, so I showed up, I think, around mid-afternoon or maybe just noon. Yeah, I was in the car. That was the first time I met Sabra Cook. That was me being starstruck.
Oh my god, you were in the
And
same
yeah,
car?
we showed up, and yeah, the car that picked me up from
From the airport?
the airport had Sabra Cook sitting in the back, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. So I said hi sheepishly, and we finally got a conversation going. But it was, that was my first moment in Las Vegas.
God, that is the best experience. Like, imagine being in the same car with Sabra. I know Sabra from the W series, so I was following the W series in my early days, getting into sim racing. I saw, like, like, it's just amazing to see like 18, 20 girls racing together, driving a single seater in like Spa in Monza. Like, I'm like, wow, it's so cool. And I'm super happy. Honestly, I'm super grateful. Like, few years later, after that, I got a chance to meet Sabra. Sabra was like comforting me going before my race. Like, I was like, oh my god, I'm so nervous. And she was like, being nervous is good. You got this. And I was like, oh my god, she was cheering me. Like, oh my god, like, oh my god, best moment ever. And also this year, I got a chance to interview Batska Visser. So Batska is the one of the Dream Team, Screen to Speed Dream Team driver. So I got a chance to have a chat with her, with Nina, with Yvonne. So all the Screen to Speed Dream Team drivers, our esports team. So yeah, it was like, wow, it was amazing. Like, I'm grateful that sim racing can bring me this far in life. Something that I never thought could happen in this lifetime. Like, I found my love for NASCAR. I'm watching NASCAR. I'm watching like the standings, everything. It's just something that I never thought would happen in my life, because coming from my backstory, I'm starting my career in social media. As what? Guess what, Gobi? Make a guess.
Oh, I know the answer. Should I say it?
Yes.
You're a beauty influencer.
Yes, yes. That's how I start my internet career, I must say. Like, I'm starting from beauty, I'm making a review about lipstick, about makeup, and now I'm building a Simrik, making a review about Simrik. I was like, wow, how life changed in 5 years. Like, it's just amazing, yeah.
Well, now you're in you have a broadcasting career, so you don't have to hire a stylist. Easy.
Guess. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that really kind of helped me with my streaming career because I know how to do makeup, how to set a camera, something like that. So it kind of makes my life easier in terms of streaming, like, yeah, I feel like I can bring my knowledge from my previous career into my current career right now as a streamer, content creator. So it's nice, like, yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but even to any sort of event or sim racing, or if I have to have face cam on for some of the races I do, I think it's such a confidence builder.
Yeah. I mean, being confident is really important. It's super, super important to have the confidence in you.
Definitely, and if you look good doing it, it just feels good. So
Yeah, I don't know, like, I mean, honestly, I didn't grow up as someone who has like lots of confidence in herself, but sim racing really taught me to be confident. For example, as simple as being confident on the track, you really need that, you know back on the driving, back on sim racing. I always say it like in the stream, if I don't feel confident with myself in the race, I'm not gonna throw myself into the race. If I don't know the track, I don't feel confident driving the car at the track, I won't throw myself into the race. So in general, for me, having a confidence is like number one in life, number one in everything. Like really important.
yeah, I think it's hard to perform to your best ability if you feel you'd be a hazard to anyone else. I think I've had the opportunity to, like, it's actually with Screen to Speed to do an oval race, and I just don't feel. I just didn't, in that moment I didn't feel like I could do it in a really comfortable and something I would be proud of way. So I just didn't enter because I don't want to ruin anyone else's race in something that I have such little knowledge and experience of. One day I hope to. I think oval racing is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, oval is nice. I mean, yeah, if you ask me, like, I'm kind of biased about it, but I feel like based on my experience playing racing games, I'm calling it playing racing games, okay? From my experience playing racing games, I feel like I learn more in oval. I'm not saying that I'm not learning a lot from road racing, but I feel like there's a lot of things that I learn in oval that I can bring into road racing. So I'm like, okay, this is nice. Because if you look into the map, like oval being oval, like shaped like an egg, that's it. You're just turning left. You don't need to memorize the track and everything. You don't need to remember where to brake and something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you need to focus on when you're racing. So for me, oval is not learning the track, but actually learning to drive. So you can focus on driving because you don't memorize the track. You're not worrying about the track.
I love that about that. Is there anything else that you felt, something you learned going wheel to wheel with another driver that you really thought was really nice to transfer over to road racing?
Yes. So in oval, you really drive close to everyone. You're driving like really close. You're drafting with everyone. And before I'm getting into the oval race, I always feel nervous every time I'm seeing like on my relative. Okay, there's someone 1 seconds behind me. Oh my god, he's going to catch me. Oh my god, 0.5 seconds. Oh my god, like I'm having that anxiety before, but since I'm training myself in oval, driving really close to everyone, like everyone, so getting into the road racing, I feel like I'm not nervous. I'm not afraid to stay close to people. Like I love it being as close as possible to people, and I learned how to avoid the crash in oval. So getting into road racing, the type of crash is more like, okay, I can handle like one car spun, it's nothing. Because in oval you will see like everybody crash, everybody touching the wall. It's always like a mayhem in oval. So, like it makes me feeling more relaxed in road racing. Like just do it. It's fine. You've seen worse than that, so what can happen in this race? It's fine, like it kind of give me like more confident, and it opens my eyes. Like 0.5 seconds is far. It's a big gap. Don't worry. You don't need to worry that much.
Yeah, that's in road racing, that's a lot of pressure. 0.5 seconds, they're in your draft. They're big in your mirrors, biggish.
Yeah, quite big,
and
but there's still gap,
Yeah, but I think I should really learn from this oval kind of mentality. It's like, okay, it's 0.5 seconds, but it's also 0.5 seconds. I can turn things around here.
Yeah. But I mean, but don't get too much into oval racing, otherwise you will turn into me. Like Ash. Thank you so much, Ash, for reminding everyone like oval is nice until I get into the lobby. Yes, okay, Ash. Love you too, Ash. By the way, hello! Welcome. Very nice to have you all here today. Solberg, oh my god, my brother in Christ. Hello, my more female racers brother in Christ. Solberg, very nice to have you here today. And yes, you were asking about how to register your girlfriend into the Screen to Speed. Yes, please. Okay, send a message to Yvonne on Discord, and Yvonne will help you, guiding you with the registration and everything. I would love to have your girlfriend racing with us in the Screen to Speed. I really hope she will have a lot of good time, a lot of good battle, and she will learn a lot from the race. Because to me, getting into a league race is super, super helpful. Like really helpful. I really love getting into a league race. Not gonna lie. My TV off. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, continue, Gobi.
Oh, definitely. League race. Yeah, league racing changed everything for me as well. Like I said, more female racers. Then I went on to, I think I did some RCI racing. Then I did some SimGrid Pro Series or something like this. I love the co-driver stuff. I think it's so refreshing when you have a team to work with and to like protect a car so that your teammate doesn't feel bad about his driving, and making the difference by being a better team is almost more satisfying than just winning it on pure pace. So I think that's league racing with groups, solo, and then I got on to even bigger races like SRO. Gosh, every single step of the way it taught me so much about myself, my driving, the things I can and can't do, and kind of the fears that come up just before quali switches to race. Gosh, yeah, just being in that moment can teach you again and again. Being in that moment can teach you how to control your emotions, control your heart rate. That's where it all starts. I personally think if you can control your heart rate, you're already a step ahead.
Yeah, I think sim racing kind of teach me about self control. Like something that is so deep for me, like learning about your new hobby can be that deep. I was like, it's really important to control your heartbeat because I almost got my first win in Spa in GT3 back in the day in iRacing. I was overtaking the guy in P1, so basically I was like overtaking the leader. So one more lap. So I was in the last lap. I just need to drive normal, like a normal people, and you will cross the finish line, you will win the race. But I was too anxious, I must say. Like, okay, God, my heart is beating fast, I can't even think straight, I must say. Like, I was too nervous, everything just so much in my head, and I spun and I threw my first win back then. So that kind of make me sad until now, still. Like, oh my god, that was like so close yet so far. But I learned what not to do in the race from that one, like, okay, keep calm, like it's okay.
Yeah, in those moments, it's sometimes you have to ask yourself, will you be the one to crack? Or will the car ahead be the one to crack? And I've been in that position a few times, and sometimes you just know, right? Sometimes you just know when you're chasing somebody applying the pressure.
Mhm.
They're missing their apexes.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
missing their gear shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just know that you just have to drive normally.
Mm-hmm.
And if you complete your part of this race, you'll have a good result. And that's a really good feeling to best someone mentally. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, not gonna lie, it's easier for me to put a pressure on someone instead of like defending my position. And I think it applies to everyone, right? Like trying to put a pressure on someone is easier than holding it, like holding the pressure, like keep calm.
I don't know if you watch Formula One, but I hang on every word that comes out of basically all the drivers' mouths. And it was Monza, I think, last year when the two Ferraris were fighting each other at the end of the race. And Charles is behind and Carlos is ahead. And Carlos, I think, eventually ended up P2 in that, and Charles finished P3 nevertheless. And Carlos is like, at the end of that, like, that wasn't fun defending.
Mm-hmm.
He acknowledges that, no, it can never really be fun when you're defending.
Uh-huh.
And you just have to be stone cold and you just have to just show no weakness. Because Charles was just sending it on him, and what is he supposed to do? It's his own teammate, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think racing puts so many the do battle portion of sim racing. So good.
Yeah. I still need to learn a lot still, and I believe everybody's still learning until now. I think we had this conversation when we were in Vegas back then. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
we had a lot of
everybody.
nice conversations about racing in Vegas.
You're telling me, like, there is like one sim racer that's been racing for 20 years. I forgot. I forgot the name. We were having this conversation back then. But yeah, the point is, like, doesn't matter, like, even if you've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, you are still learning things, like new things, new challenge. Still and still.
Yeah, I can't remember who we were talking about, but I'm pretty sure there are some veteran sim racers who we could all learn from, and yeah, I'm sure they're all learning their own things as they go on.
Yeah. Keep calm and full send. Yeah, Ash, I will keep calm and sending it, Ash. Do you know, speaking about sending it, yesterday, I had a race in iRacing Special Event, the MS Charity race, and I was sending it, bro. Like I was sending it almost like a dive bomb of Jimmy Johnson's spotter. I googled his name and he's like the NASCAR crew chief. I was like, whoa, I was sending it. Keep calm sending it, bro. But it was a clean dive bomb. No, I didn't dive bomb, but yeah, I was sending it last night. Too bad you didn't see, but I was sending it last night. I will show you the clip. Bad influence? What do you mean I'm a bad influence? I'm an inspiration for everyone. Through Ghost Hamilton, that's exactly. Oh my god, guys, I cannot wait to make a clip out of it. I haven't done like any clip of it, but I want to show it to you that I'm sending it like Hamilton. I'm Hamilton, not Hamilton. Okay.
I have to see this.
Anyway, okay. Let's not talk about me sending it, okay? Let's forget about it for now. By the way, Gobi, speaking about, we were talking about, or you mentioned SRO earlier, and I know you were racing in SRO esports. How was it? Why?
World Esports
Uh-huh.
was the hardest sim racing campaign that I've been a part of.
Oh yeah? Like the hardest.
I raced primarily in the Americas division,
Mm-hmm.
Americas series. And if you don't know, there would be an ESRO series for America, Europe, and rest of the world.
The
Asia.
continental, they call it continental, like for Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, so I never really got onto the endurance side of it.
Mhm.
Bygones be like bygones. Maybe it comes in the future, but I raced in the sprint series, so 1 hour races
Mm-hmm.
once every month over the course of a summer, and
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I truly was tested because sure, I had some good results, but the vast majority of my results were, I don't know, starting P10, finishing somewhere like P10 to P8.
Mm-hmm.
It really taught me the importance, one, about what pure pace really means. I think you have to be fast in sim racing to have a really good result. I think in IRL racing or full metal racing, you can make the difference more often than in sim racing during the race. So in sim racing, qualifying matters so much, and I just wasn't progressing as fast as I wanted to, but also compared to the others. I think every race, everyone is bringing a little bit more pace, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more finesse that I just wasn't able to replicate, but I wanted to so bad. And I think that's what really accelerated my learning in sim racing. So SRO Americas, I did that for about maybe 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
I did some European races whenever they allowed me, or I got in via qualifying times, and I learned so much from that. And it was just being truly in the European side of things, it was just so fun being on track with my sim racing heroes. And so many of them, right?
Yeah.
And so many factory teams driving on that side, so kept out of their way, didn't want to cause trouble, but also have a really good time, because I had nothing to lose in those kind of scenarios, and
Right.
it was awesome.
Right. So, by the way, Rain, like, it's so crazy. Like, looking at the broadcast of the SRO event, like, everybody is good. Like, everybody is fast, you know? If you look into the qualifying, like, the gap can be, like, very close between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And the competition is just crazy. Like, it's just wow, And how how did you practice during the SRO event? As in, like, how did you learn to improve yourself in sim racing?
Oh, that's a really good question. It definitely, everyone, I think, would train themselves a little bit differently or find success in their own practice a little bit differently. In the beginning, in the absolute beginning, when I was doing MFR and just learning how to be wheel to wheel, I was doing a lot of AI races. Have you done those?
Yeah, I do it sometimes, especially for a new track. Yes, I do.
What a great place to start with AI racing, because following a car can teach you a line. The AI has it right 8 out of 10 times. So you can follow a car to start your learning, and then towards the end of your practice, you can practice sending it. You can practice the second line, the third line, seeing where the opportunities to pass are. So I think AI racing can help you on both sides of things, in the beginning and the end. The middle is the hardest part, so that's where you really have to put in the hours. One thing I learned is that you should spread out your learning over multiple days, because sleeping can gain you tense on tense on tense.
Okay, that's a great point. Like, have enough rest. Like, it's super important.
Yeah, there is like a magical process in our brains that allows us to throw away all the bad and retain all the good practice. Because you do so many hot laps, it can kind of get messy about whether you're doing the practice in the right way or not. So every day you improve. So, I think 10 hours in one day is less worth it than 5 hours split over 3 days.
Okay. All right. Because sometimes, especially like when it's like a big event coming up, like I train myself harder than I practice myself for the officials, right? So yeah, going into the big event, I always like put myself into a target, like at least I have to do like, well, for now, because I'm doing some work and stuff, so I cannot do a lot of practice, but at least I got to do like 2 hours 3 hours practice, but it has to be like a non-stop, like no break, like, but yeah, I wish I can do like I can spend more hours into my practice. Sometimes I wish for that, but yeah, for me right now it's quite impossible to have like 5 hours 8 hours of practice.
Definitely, it's a luxury. When times were a little bit simpler with, well, I don't want to say simpler, because the pandemic was tough for a lot of people and it affected everyone differently. But for me personally, it gave me a little bit more time to focus on my passion, that is sim racing. And yeah, the chat's saying the breakthroughs are always overnight. My best ideas are coming in at night.
Yeah.
Definitely. Did you hear what Max said about sim racing and how much he and his team prepare?
No, tell me about it. What's up?
Max said that 60 hours is what it takes to prepare for a team red line level event, which is tier 1, tier A. These guys are pushing it. Absolutely. This is their perhaps full-time job. Like, that's what it takes to be ready.
Wow.
And I don't think I was ever at 50 or 60 hours for one race. No. But I could see myself improving all the way up there. If I had it, I could. If I could, I would. Yep. And if I would be better.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Sometimes I'm talking to my friends that is like competing like in a high level, like they really like spend like they're really like practicing hard and practicing smart. So they were like work hard and work smart also. Like yeah, like for example, like most people that I interviewed, like they will look into their telemetry and stuff, not just driving blind, like driving around the track over and over for 50 laps, hundreds laps. So they will like yeah. So how do you practice? Like, do you like actually looking into the telemetry as well in your practice?
Yeah, I think if you go into telemetry with a goal,
Mm-hmm.
with a question, then it can really help you.
With a question.
So you might ask yourself in a 1-lap scenario, why am I losing time in turn 3? A very simple question that perhaps anyone has ever asked on any track. Why am I losing time in turn 3?
Right.
So if you can find yourself a comparison lap, shout out Coach Dave, shout out any of the other setup shops, they always include a comparison lap. And so the telemetry can show you how your delta compares at any point in the track. So I'll use that to figure out in that point, am I gassing too late? Am I braking too long? Or am I inputting too much steering? And so it should give me an idea without even looking at that person's lap, just by looking at the data, if I need to do one thing differently or all 3 things differently.
Okay, then it's down to the next question. So you compare your lap time with other drivers, and you, for example, like, okay, I brake a little bit too long in this corner, so I have to release quicker. I have to release my brake quicker. So that's the idea that you have in mind. But how do you like adapt that into your muscle memory? Because after doing like so many laps, you will get used to how you brake in every corner, how you turn your wheels in every corner. So how do you break the muscle memory? I think that's my big issue in my training.
What a professional question. It seems like you've been here before, Elz.
That's my challenge. That's my challenge.
It's definitely a challenge. I think it becomes easier over time, but the right answer is there's no easy way, and you have to muscle through the bad laps that you've unfortunately driven. That's, I think, the cost of not practicing right, is that, it's any sport, right? Everyone will tell you should learn how to play golf or swing a golf bat from a pro. You should do it right the first time so that you're not chasing your mistakes for years. Anyways, for racing, I think it's the same thing. I think you can do it step by step. I think it can start from your pedals. So if you have an early apex and you want to convert it to a late apex, I think a lot of that starts at the entry of the corner. So perhaps that means braking 5 meters later, and suddenly the task is not so difficult because you're naturally going deep. And at the same speed you return in anyway, you're finding yourself having to just do it a little later, and you've constructed yourself a late apex, better exit corner. So, like I said, the task is different every time, but if you're trying to make something happen, perhaps you should be taking a shallower line, wider line entry, braking later, braking early entry, to construct the exit. How does that sound?
I will try to follow, because right now I'm at the stage where I want to change my practice method, because I've been doing the same method of practice over and over, but I just feel like, okay, maybe I want to start looking into the telemetry, actually comparing, like throwing myself out of my comfort zone, basically. Like actually looking at the data and see, because my ego would say like I brake at the right time, I brake at the right braking mark. That's the ego. And I kind of want to challenge myself and actually see like, did I brake like actually at 100? Did I actually do it right by like comparing, and you know just to see how
And
far I can improve. you know
so one of the things holding you back is perhaps you're stuck in your ways a little bit.
Kind
Do I
of.
have that right?
Yeah, kind of like I wanna. Well, for me right now, I feel like okay, I can race. I need to gain experience, but how do I become faster? How do I be like on top of the standings all the time? Every time I'm getting into the practice server, the race server, like just wanna see how fast or how far I can go from now. Just to test myself, you know.
All gas, no brakes, yeah. Never lift.
Never
That's how I
live.
live.
Yeah, I love that mentality, Hamish. And I imagine Elz looking at the telemetry would give her a headache. Maybe at the start, maybe I'll be like, maybe.
Do you want to know what I think is the best thing sim racing has done in the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years? And it's come out of iRacing.
Okay.
I think it's $1 million idea. It's called active reset.
Oh yeah, the active reset. Right. So you can like
Right.
practicing over and
Go
over.
on.
Yeah.
And it's such a no-brainer idea because I think for one, I think ultimately it helps me. It tells me that iRacing respects my time because I can learn sector by sector, corner by corner, how to do it, how to link up a whole lap around the circuit, because it easily cut down my practice time by half. It's unbelievably smart. And actually, I think it's a little bit out of character for iRacing to include such a feature. I thought it was going to be Assetto Corsa that would include something like this. Actually, there might already be a mod for it that I'm not sure. If you have a mod, please. PayPal $5, let me know. I think iRacing is a little bit more... they want to teach you how to drive a real car with the real information and not give you too much computer generated data, like we have the radar.
Yeah, right. The radar.
And that's a win on Assetto Corsa's side, and that's not a win on iRacing side. But on this occasion, I think iRacing has given us a tool that's unconventional, but actually is better as a service, in my opinion. And I recommend everyone use it. You have to bind the buttons. You have to bind, I think, 2 or 3 commands. And once you do, you can set a start point, an end point, and a reset button. And then you just drill those sectors, those corners, again and again and again until you're satisfied, and then you go to bed.
Right. So you focus on every sector, like nail it, and then you stitch everything together, like run the whole.
Exactly. That's gotten me a lot of satisfaction, and it's made me really happy to do it this way.
That's a good point. That's a really good point that I can try on my next practice, because I really want to get my 3KI rating. That's my goal. At least if you ask me what's my goal in 2024, I want to get 3KI rating both in oval and road, but I'm still not sure about my road. I don't know what I want to do in road, if I want to do sports or if I want to do formula. I'm still not sure about it, but I kind of want to get, I really want to improve my driving in general. like actually having a battle, actually like winning the race, learning new track. I think that's the most important. Like learning new track instead of like doing the same one over and over. You know.
Els, are you someone who likes to drive the same car over and over? Or do you like to choose different manufacturers for the same series, for example?
That's a good question. I think I prefer to drive the same car over and over, but I explore different tracks, I think.
I love that. Yeah. I feel like I'm a creature of habit too. I gravitate towards like the first car I choose, maybe if it's right, it's right, and I just stick with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if I'm holding myself back, but it feels more. I feel like if you put more time into one thing, then I sort of believe you're guaranteed to get something out of it. So I'll see how it goes. I'm still trying it. I still gravitate towards one car, and it works.
Because for me, if I want to actually have a good race, I need to be, how do I say it? Like, I need to reach the level where I don't have to think about driving the car, you know? So that's why I want to get used to, by getting used to one car, it kind of helps me to kind of make me less thinking about how to drive the car. Because if I'm still thinking how to brake or how I turn my car, it feels like I'm not ready for the race yet if I'm still thinking about it. So I need to reach the level where I don't need to use my brain, as in like I can drive with my eyes closed with this car, you know? I need to reach that level. And that's what I want every week. Every time I'm getting into the race, I want to reach that level. I don't need to think about how to drive this car. So I can focus on my race. I can focus on my goal in the race. To get a top 10, to get a podium, something like that.
What a great feeling when you're in the car that you love, at a track that you love, at a weather temperature that you love, and you know you can do it.
Yeah.
And from start to finish, you're passing cars, you're letting cars pass you, you're making safe decisions, you're making sense, and it just all feels so natural. That's what a feeling.
Yeah, that is what a feeling. Like, what a feeling. Because I remember my first win in iRacing. Like, it was like a few weeks ago in the Formula Vee. That's the car that I just drive. Like, I'm leaving the Vee since I'm getting out of the rookie. I never drive that car anymore since I'm getting out of the rookie. So I don't even know why I throw myself into that race back then. Maybe because it was a new track in iRacing. So I was like, okay, just do it. 30 minutes practice and drive. Then I don't know. I started in pole. I'm sending it and I crossed the finish line, winning the race. I need to print the certificate. Actually, I need to print it. Because it was one of my proud moments. Because after 2 years in the service, I finally got my win, you know. So it kind of giving me a wake-up call, as in like, okay, it took you 2 years to win your first race in iRacing. So what's next? Do you want to win another one, or are you happy with this? So that's why I came up with idea about changing my practice method and see, you know, because getting that first win kind of boosts my confidence. Like, okay, let's get another one. We can do it, you know. So yeah, that's why.
Congratulations! Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy you're asking that question. Like, where does it go from here? Do I just want to win again?
Or do you wanna like, yeah, it's okay. That's enough. That's enough win for the year, you know. But it kind of feels addicting to me. Like, I want to get another one. Because I learned something different when I'm starting in the front than when I was starting in the middle or from the back. it's like a different lesson for me, you know, like for example, if you're starting in the middle, or if you're like starting from the back of the pack, your main goal in your first lap is try to avoid the crash, try to make as many as overtake as you can, like overtake someone, try to avoid the crash. But when I was starting in front, my goal was not spinning. It's a cold tires, cold brake, so nail it and slowly like pulling up the gap from the car behind. So it's like a different game, you know, like different strategy. So I want to learn that again. Like I want to start in front. Like for example, in a rolling start, you control the start as the leader, right? I don't have that experience yet. My experience was starting in pole from standing start. So I guess now I know what I want. Like I want to win any race that has rolling starts in it. Not the standing start. Now I want the rolling starts.
You want to play the mental game from the start, huh?
Yeah.
You want to jump everybody.
Kind of want it. Because I saw some streamers like controlling the start can be hit or miss. If you know how to do it, you will nail it, right? But most of the time, based on my experience, if I start in front, I kind of mess up my start, you know, like not actually standing it. So it's something new that I can learn, I guess.
I think when you say this, it reminds me of how unbeatable Lewis Hamilton is at safety car restarts.
Okay, so he's like nailing it. Because I don't really watch the F1. Like don't watch a lot of F1. Tell me about it.
Okay, I'll limit the Formula One references from now on. But Lewis Hamilton had a period of great success, and he was like, you know, P1 for many, many races. But safety cars will come out and bunch the track up, and it will be Lewis Hamilton at the front. And it happened so many times that he figured it out, like how to do it consistently the best every single time. And so now he's been considered like the best safety car restarter of all time. And I can't deny that until someone else can show me 100 safety car restarts. Yeah, it's it reminds me of this because it comes with experience. It's only something you can do if you're at the front and have that chance in a live scenario, in a real life scenario.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because you don't always like start in front. Like, yeah, you need to wait for that chance to come for you to learn how to nail it, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things that I would like to learn in sim racing. And I'm happy. Like, at least now, I'm still considering myself as a not so newbie, like a newbie but not so newbie. So I feel like every time I'm getting into the sim, I'm sitting on my rig, I always got a new things to learn. Like, okay, today, what do we learn today? What do we learn today? Oh, I want this, I want that, you know? And for now, for example, like, I want to actually, like, be fast, like, be like one of the fastest on the grid, like actually learn how to be fast. If you're talking about being fast, first you need to be consistent, right? Like you need to be consistent before you become fast. And after all this time, I feel like, okay, I'm consistent enough as a driver, but are you happy by just being consistent, or do you actually want to push yourself harder this time? Because being consistent gives me comfort. Because at least I'm consistent. But do you actually want to push yourself a little bit more? More than that? So, yeah. That's the question in my head right now.
I hope you find the answer. I think every sim racer has this question. And it's not a one-time question. It's a lifetime question. Like, should I push? Or should I just keep it safe? Right.
Should I push or should I keep it safe? Yeah. And how is your mind game in the race? Most of the time, are you like always like sending it? Like, always like, okay, we send it, or do you consider yourself mostly like, as a safe driver, like keep it safe? Are you a risk taker or are you a safe driver?
Elz, now you're asking trade secrets. You can't know my mental game.
You know my mental game. Oh no. But yeah, is it wrong to send it, or is it wrong to keep it safe? So how we as a sim racer should behave? How to
Okay.
race?
So how do I put this? I think okay, one, you are responsible for any contact that is made with your car on the track.
Okay.
Do you agree? So if you agree with this,
Mm-hmm.
that even if somebody rear ends you, you are responsible. You have some, I believe you have some reason to reflect and figure out why this person caught up to you so fast or caught up to you at all. Second, I think a story develops when you're having a rivalry over one race. So if you start off P2 and you're chasing P1 for the whole race, I think you, if you go for it, I think it can be a part of the story. If you send it, I think it's okay. I don't think it's bad to send it on someone that you think you have more pace than. And if it's part of the story, like it's going to be a last lap overtake, you've been on their bump for this whole time, and and you want to make it, you haven't perhaps had the chance, and you see a chance, then you should go for it. You should go for it and try to maintain both of you on the track. Penalties will come. I don't think anyone can do anything about penalties. Sometimes they come for you, sometimes they don't. And I think a lot of that has to do with the story you develop about your driving and the confidence you show on the track that can actually help you or hurt you. So I think the send is nice, but the confidence and the racecraft you show all the way up to the send is way more important than the send that actually comes, because a send is only one corner, and of course there's hundreds of corners. So
yeah,
does that make sense? Does that help?
So what I got from this is like, you can send it, but you should use your brain, as in like, you should know what you're doing in that corner, as in like, so here's the thing, when I'm racing, when I feel like I'm super confident with my race or with this combo, I should have that eagle eye in my head, like I should know where my car positioning in every corner, you know. Like, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but sometimes I look into my car like from the upper side, so I know like where your car at, where your opponent's at in that track, in that corner. So when I'm about to sending it, I should know like where my car's at exactly, and if I'm giving like enough space to people. Well, most of the time it ends up like I didn't give enough space to people, but I'm still learning my way here. But to me, something that I learned is that when you're sending it, you have to be like fully committed, fully confident, and you know what you're doing. Like, it has to be a reason behind every move or something like that, you know. But I kind of regretting it sometimes because, well, most of the time I didn't take the chance to sending it like I'm playing it safe, because I don't want to hurt anyone. Yeah, Ash, when I crash people at Dega, I should reflect. Yes, thank you so much. I will Ash, don't tell everyone I didn't crash anyone in Dega. What do you mean? It's someone that crashed into me. Hi Jacob. Hi Crispy Bacon, by the way. If you could pass, safely pass. Yeah. But you don't always wait for the chance, right? Sometimes you have to make a move, right? Or wrong. Or maybe I was wrong.
And sometimes what's considered a safe pass from the outside perspective is not really what's inside, what it looks like from inside the car, because in the car you have a unique perspective, and you have a unique foresight about what's going to happen in this corner, how your rival has been turning in, and how you suspect they will turn in this time, and if you sense a weakness. So in the car, it can feel actually not that close. And so you make a decision based on these cues that you get. So it's definitely a guessing game, but it's an educated guess. And which is why I think penalties are a good system, I think what I was saying earlier about the store you develop in any race, you can save yourself a penalty, or you can earn yourself a penalty. I think sending it, I'll be honest, I've abused many online folk with the sends I've practiced only to make me a better driver. I'm not saying it's a reason, I'm not saying it's an excuse, but it's happened and it's made me a better driver. And I've pulled off some really nice moves because I've learned from my mistakes.
Yeah. Learning from your mistake can be the best teacher. Making a stupid mistake can actually save you from your future mistakes sometimes, I learned that. My idea of making a move is taking out half of the field for bigger percentage chance of winning. If everybody is out of the race and you're the only one on the grid, then you're the winner, right? No. I'm not promoting an unsafe behavior like that. No, I'm a safe driver. Just like Gobi said, what you see from inside the car and what you see from the far chase cam can be different sometimes. And there's a lot of things. Lewis Hamilton at Hungary, only car on the grid starting. Hi Jin! Oh my god, 15! Hi Jin! Welcome to INIT Talks. We are having chat with Aloo Gobi right now. My dear friend, so I know her for a very long time, since my first championship, getting into my first championship on ACC, and she was racing in it, and she was in the pro class. I was still in the pro AM class. So I really look up to her. I really look up to you. How are you so fast? How are you so good? I watched the broadcast back then, and you were always starting at the front, having a tough battle with other drivers. I want to be like you. And whenever I see your name on SRO entry list, I'm so proud of you. Wow, Gobi, make it one more time. I'm super proud. I'm super proud of you. I really look up to you. When I first getting into sim racing, not gonna lie, I really look up to you, Love46, and Emery. And I'm super happy now. I'm being friends with three of you. All my idol, making friends with the idol. Super happy.
I'm it's very heartwarming to hear that, and it's not often you're reminded that people are watching you and people are looking at you, and they're hoping for the best for you. And sometimes that's not so clear when you're on the internet and you're just racing for yourself. But that's very nice. That's very nice.
I really look up to you.
Ultimately, I race for myself, and I just want to satisfy myself, but I also love my fans. So follow me on Twitter if you ever want to keep up with me and sort of the racing that I'm doing. So I'm doing racing, sim racing here and there nowadays, but I'm also trying my best to race in real life, full metal. I recently posted some clips. On my Twitch, you can find Aloo__Gobi. There will be a link to my YouTube there soon. My YouTube is Aloo Gobi Racing. I just uploaded a race replay unedited, so you can see exactly what it takes to take your sim experience to the real life. How are you gonna position yourself on track in real life versus sim. So I hope to take that to a bigger extent and bring you along for the ride. So if ever you want to keep up with me, those are the ways to do it: Twitter, YouTube, and I'll do some streaming too.
Yes, guys. So please, guys. So last week, I was like telling everyone in my community, like, Aloo Gobi is live. She's doing an IRL racing. Oh my god, that's so cool. Now, let's done talking about the sim racing, the story about it, and let's talk about your real life racing experience. Jesus Christ, yes, Hamish. And you too, right? You're doing some real racing too, right, Hamish? Super happy to see my Screen to Speed friends doing some IRL thing. So Gobi, tell me about it. Tell everyone about it. So how was it? Tell me about your racing.
Well, what would you like to know? Because the event itself the weather was beautiful, very sunny, a little bit warm, and the track was freshly washed. It rained the night before, so there was a level of development in the track, which was nice to experience. People I was competing against were very competitive. Although the field was a little bit smaller than we expected in the Formula 1200 class, it was still enough. Like, I was fighting the championship contenders. So, gosh, like, can you ask for something better to show up on a beautiful day at a track you love, to race against some of the best people racing Formula 1200 in your country?
Oh god, that's the best feeling ever. Like, that is the best. So tell me, from the very first start, what makes you want to get into real racing? Like, what's the motivation behind it?
I think glory and limelight. I think if I truly ask myself, why do I want racing? I think wheel-to-wheel racing, like the do battle portion of it, I love that. And I think at the end of it, getting to stand on a podium and really getting to reflect on the performance that you made, I think is kind of addictive, and just it's an effort that's well paid off. There's a structure around winning and losing and performing well and not performing well. So yeah, I think when I first started, it was through sim racing that I developed a love for it. Then I found Formula One back in 2012. I was watching Fernando Alonso in a Ferrari, driving his heart out to win a championship I knew nothing about. And I thought in that moment, if these guys are putting so much heart, so much passion, so much love into the way they're driving, maybe I can do that too. That was my inspiration.
Wow. And now that finally you're getting into real racing, like you got into your first race and it was in the Formula Vee, in your track in Canada, in your home track, I must say, in Canada. So how did you feel when you first like sitting in the car and you know that it's real, you'll be driving that car? Like, how did that feel?
Okay, the first thing I actually felt was, wow, this is really comfortable.
Oh, it's really comfortable.
Yeah,
So comfy.
Because when you look at the car and you look at your seat, it's kind of just flat. And you're basically sitting, the firewall is on your back, and you're sitting on sheet metal. So my first thought was like, it's kind of comfortable in here. My shoulders are nice and snug, and I'm like, I'm in a good seating position. At first, I felt the pedals were a little bit too far away from me, so my legs were fully extended to to be able to press the pedals. So that's one of the things that we worked on, and we changed up and like, hey, I need a few more inches towards me. And the race car engineer, the owner, his name is Phil. He was able to bring it back towards me and really build a really more comfortable driving experience. What else did I feel? Wow, someone is really letting me borrow their car.
Like, isn't it the best? Like, wow, you're sitting in a real race car and you know that you'll be driving this cute car around the track, and you know you'll be battling someone. So were you having like a fear factor when you're like driving at the first time, or were you like feeling like truly comfortable, like okay, I know what to do?
Okay, that's a really good question because
Mm-hmm.
yes, I was a little bit fearful
Oh.
before I went on because, it's like I'm heading on to a session with multiple classes of cars, so there's going to be faster cars, there's going to be cars of my speed, and I don't want to make a fool of myself. I don't want to spin or anything like this. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be involved in scuffing up anybody's ice cream paint job. That is probably priority number one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all these like stresses that are coming down on you as you're getting prepared to get onto a racetrack in a sanctioned event and where so many people are volunteering to marshal, to
Yeah.
be the clerk of the course, to be a starter, to be a flag person, and to be a commentator. Like, holy moly, this is the big leagues. So here you are, everybody's watching you, and you feel a little bit nervous, definitely.
Of course.
But I'll tell you what, at the end of the pit exit, you put the visor down, and it's just like home.
Wow. Wow. I want to have that feeling one day. Like, like you're actually sitting, you're driving, you're taking control of the car, you're driving fast around the track. Like, I bet it's an amazing feeling, like the best feeling ever.
I would have to agree. I think when I look back on what it took to get to this position, it was everything. Like, this is like 5 years of preparation, 5 years of saving the dineros to even get on the track. So there's a lot of pressure from these kind of factors, but you just have to control them and enjoy the moment. And I think anyone can do this. For the record, anyone can do this. There is a car out there for you. And if you put the time and effort into practicing a little bit and preparing a little bit and setting your mind right for the moment, you can perform and have a race of your own. If not the race, you might win.
Right. That's a good point. And Rain asking, was this your first time driving on the track as well?
Okay, so good question, Rain. It wasn't my first time driving on a track because for my licensing exam, you have to do a practical test. And so they take you out in a car. It was actually my own road car that we went out in. So the kind of track environment wasn't completely new to me. I hope that answers the question.
Right. So, I mean, you've been doing like a driving before around the track, and if I'm not mistaken, you did some track days before, right? So,
yeah, I've done a track day.
Your first time driving around the track wasn't your first time.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't my first time. I definitely had some track days in my past. So I think I went to one in 2022 in my road car. I have a Mazda 3, an older one. And I'd also done some test days in the Formula 1200. I'd actually done 2 test days before I went to my first race. And those test days were at a different track. And in different cars than I raced on that day, but they're all kind of the same. Anyways, so yes, I had done some test days here and there, just, 20, 25 minute, 30 minute kind of session just to get acclimatized and to learn how to drive an H pattern shifter. I did not know how to do this before. And so before the race, I had driven the car 2 months prior, and before that about 4 months prior. So it was about 6 months of preparation to get to the racing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first race session.
Okay. And because you did a sim racing before you're getting into this real racing, do you think that there's a lot of things that you learn in the simulator that you can bring into your first racing?
100%. The first thing that comes to mind is racing pace and racing consistency, racing wheel to wheel. I think these three things are directly transferable to real life.
I see.
Because actually the same kind of...
Oops. Hold on. Test. No, it's not working.
Check 1 2 1 2.
You're back. All right.
I'm not sure. That static came into my ear and it was kind of weird. Yeah, so definitely the pace aspect of driving a car fast in the sim world is the same as in the real world, because as you can expect, it's more of a mental thing than a physical thing. It's more physical in real life, definitely, and we can talk about what those physical factors are.
Of course.
But it's very much the same. Finding pace, testing yourself, being wheel to wheel, all have the same principles and the same knowledge that will take you very, very far in real life.
I see. I'm cautiously hoping to make it onto the track for racing next year myself, ideally with some Team Cake members. Oh, I'm referring to IRL. What about screen to speed? Like, oh my god, back in the day in Vegas, the winner got a chance to actually drive the Porsche 911. Like, I don't think I will get a chance to drive the 911 in real life in my lifetime. Like, wow, it's like the best feeling in the world. Like, wow. And now you're driving in real life too, Gobi. Like, what? It's super amazing. Like, what? Do you think that sim racing, I mean, of course, I mean, if I ask this question, the answer is obviously yes. But I want to know, like, how close is it between sim racing and in real life? So that's why I asked you this question. Like, something that you actually you immediately realize when you're sitting in a race car, when you're like driving around the track, what is like something that you actually like realize, like, oh, this is like in sim, oh wait, this is like in the simulator? Do you have like that kind of feeling when you are like driving around the track, like, oh god, this is like in the simulator, oh wow, this is so cool, oh wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, I hate to bring it back to the fear and the mental side of it. One of the reasons I know it's the same is because the same types of fears and doubts that I would get before sim racing, I would get in real life. Oh no, I've forgotten to drive the car. Oh no, how am I going to change the gears?
Oh my god.
But
yeah.
And it comes to me every time, and I prove myself wrong every time, but yet again, I'm finding myself questioning myself. So yeah, that's definitely very similar. Another similar thing is the pressure from other drivers. Like when you're on track with other drivers, you're feeling the same type of pressure, and it's very similarly replicated in sim. Because I think if you're watching your mirrors and you're reading their moves and you're reading their body language, it's very similar in real life. So that's one of the things I think. Maybe we can come back to this, but I feel like I've been preparing for this for like ever since I started sim racing. I always had the goal of having to compare what it's like and eventually sharing this with people. So again, I will be posting some videos about my feelings about what is similar and what is different on my YouTube and my Twitter. So please follow along.
Yes, please. I'm super happy to have you in social media. Like, yes. Please share some tips.
I'll do my best to educate and like like I said, I've been studying the sim for, let's say, 5 years, and I've always tried to do the sim work with the perspective of what it should be like in real life. And I'm really happy to have had this opportunity to feel it for the real thing and compare.
And actually compare, yeah. Because based on my experience doing karting, well, I haven't like got into like real racing kind of thing. I'm just like doing karting for fun, like once in a while. There's a lot of things that I learn in the simulator that I can bring in real life. For example, like I can learn the track like a little bit faster than other kids that is like racing with me. But the thing that is like different for me between simulator and real life is the sound of the engine. At the first when I first started karting, like I was so afraid listening to the engine sound. Like, why is it so loud in real life? That kind of gives me shock at first, like you know. I think that's the difference. And also like I can feel like when I'm going too fast into the corner, or if I'm going too slow, you will notice that immediately. And for me, it's something that I don't really notice when I was in the sim. So I had to look into the replay and see like, okay, I was a little bit too slow in that corner. But in real life, like you can like actually feel it, and you can correct it like faster, I must say. But yeah, the engine sound kind of give me a shock at first. Like, you know.
Yeah, I think, wow, what a really good thought, because, oh my gosh, I think going back to our NASCAR experience, like those cars are so loud they shake the ground.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Mm-hmm.
I think with any race car environment, any track environment, those cars are really loud, and you ought to bring hearing protection. Pro tip, by the way, if you're driving a race car, if you're driving a go-kart, anything where you're really, really exposed, wear some earplugs because it will help you drive better.
I see. It will help you like actually drive better.
Yeah, I think because of how loud it is, it actually takes up a lot of your mental processing power. So I think it's beneficial to reduce the volumes coming in. You can still hear everything with maximum fidelity. It's just reduced in volume. So yeah, I think it's very beneficial for your own driving.
And here Hamish also agree with you. Yes, people ignore the earplugs when it's so important. That's a good point. Like again, Gobi is always telling me something that I didn't know before. I feel like I'm always like smarter, guys. Like I feel like I'm 20% smarter after having a conversation with her. Like yeah. And what about the fear factor? Well, so tell me a bit about it, by the way, Gobi.
Yeah, the one time I felt really, really scared was getting it kind of crossed up, and I was finding myself oversteering, then understeering into a slow corner, into a slow left. And because those Formula 1200 cars don't have power steering or even like leveraged steering, these are like what I can imagine as really high Ackerman cars or high caster cars, excuse me. There is massive steering forces that if you're not ready for, they can surprise you and they can push you off track. So I found myself having a really easy time driving while the car was going straight, gripped up, and not so influenced by any like slip angle or anything like this. But anytime I tried to correct a slide, I was steering with my whole body, just trying to bring it back, and that really scared me. So that's something that in the moment I thought was, wow, if I wasn't ready for this, if I hadn't conditioned my shoulders, my arms for this in the past, I might have gone off and I might have really like hurt the car or hurt the engine or something.
Yeah.
Or hurt myself. Wow. Yeah, exactly. So I think the physicality of driving in grassroots motorsport especially can be a little bit fear factor. I think I didn't really feel fearful of driving wheel to wheel actually, because in real life I think we are advantaged by the ability to move our head, and so are other drivers. So I think I was finding myself enough space on the track. So people were looking out for me, I was looking out for others, and it was actually very communicative in that way. And so I never felt like I was in danger because of that. So yeah, I think the speed factor is a little bit as well. I think it strikes you how fast you're going at the end of a straight. Even though I was only going about 100 miles per hour, 90 miles per hour, it's like, holy moly, I am zooming.
Yeah.
And if I do something silly here, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And it's faster than I'd ever been in an open wheel race car. So it's not like I have a windshield and things to like cover me. And so, yeah, the speed factor can be a little bit fearful, but in like a good way. It's like, gives you a little bit of stomach butterflies, and I hope I get those butterflies again and again as the faster of a car I step into.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the best feeling ever. Like, I want to get into real racing. Like, I want to sit in a race car, be on the grid, and actually like fighting with all the drivers on the grid. Oh my god, I want it so bad.
Rain was saying they want to make it onto the track for racing next year.
Yes.
Ideally with some of Team Cake members.
Yes.
Who I assume are your friends.
Cake.
There is nothing like racing with your friends.
Oh god. Imagine like you can do like IRL racing with your friends. That will be the best feeling ever. Maybe I can race with you in the next time. Like next time, not in the next round. I don't think I'll be ready, but hopefully one day I will get my own license, and maybe we can get into the same series together, like do one race. Like, that will be so fun.
You know, you and I would probably be in the same class if we went karting. We could do that. Easy peasy.
Yeah, karting. We can go karting. We can go karting if I'm coming to Canada, because we are planning on something, right? So we'll see. I hope everything goes well, so we can like, I don't know, like spend the weekend, hang out, and do karting for fun and see, you know?
I'm so ready. We'll make it happen. I think definitely we can do something that's thrilling and kind of fun and a little bit exhausting, so we really test ourselves. So,
well,
another question that came in was, what is your goal in racing? And I think Rain also asked, what is your IRL racing plans going forward? Well, good question. I don't have any plans going forward. Unfortunately, my racing budget only accounted for one race, and that's a sad story coming off a win, isn't it? Stepping into a race car, winning your first race, and having to admit to yourself that, hey, having to admit yourself that, you know, what you've gotten to do is already so much, and perhaps you should feel happy about it, but the fire is still in me, so I'd like to keep going, and I don't want to hold it off too long. I think I can do it next year again, but I think I should get into a faster car, get into a car more often so that I can keep on top of this, get into a form. If you ask me for my short-term racing plans, I think I should do some lucky dog racing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with lucky dog racing. It's sort of it's grassroots motorsports. The classes of cars are very wide, so you can drive almost anything and there would be competition for you in some way or other. And it's quite inexpensive, and you can share a car, so there are both endurance and sprint series. And ultimately I want to share the IRL racing with Twitch, and perhaps in a live broadcast form. So I'd like to go back to that racetrack. It's uniquely suited for me to be able to broadcast the racing because it's all in line of sight of one grandstand. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
So that's my goal in the midterm, short term, excuse me, to just get back into a race car and see what I can do. It's going to take some extra special effort from my side to put up, as always, make the financial commitment.
Of course.
If you ask me for my midterm, I'd love to get into a Formula 4 car. Oh my gosh, what a fun time that would be.
Yeah.
And in the long term, I really want to be part of a pro-am grouping. I want to help amateur drivers get into racing and teach them the kind of stuff that I was taught through sim racing, through the kind of partnerships that I had in my racing career, so that both of us can go racing potentially, and we can have a lot of fun doing it and really perform really well. So that's my long-term goal. I hope to do it in America. I hope to do it in Europe even, if someone will have me. But I think America is just uniquely suited to bring a lot of amateur drivers into any series. So
yeah,
whether it's touring car, IMSA, or even like one day IMSA prototype, like imagine that would be so fun.
Yes.
I think I want to race the fastest car I can ultimately, so those are sort of my IRL racing plans for the future.
Yeah, I really hope to see you back on the track like real soon, because it's so satisfying to watch IRL stream, especially like the onboard camera view kind of thing. It's super fun to watch, so I really hope to see you back on the track as soon as possible. Because yeah, again, when you want to be a race car driver, that's the type where you actually like thinking about how to get back on the track, how to get a sponsors, how to get a team, like how to get a team that wants to hire you as a driver, drive the race car. David! Oh my god, David Sampson is here. Oh my god, David, hi! Welcome to INIT Talks episode 14 with my friend Aloo Gobi. Oh my god, Aloo Gobi meet David Sampson, a Twitch streamer, iRacer. Oh my god, I love his YouTube content. I was watching about how to set up an FOV in iRacing from his YouTube channel. So it's so happy. Oh my god, I'm so happy to have you here today. Hi David. Hi David. Hi. And Hamish, at least you can say you have 100% win rate. See?
Good one. I love that.
Hi David,
that. Yeah.
How's it going? So we are having a chat right now with Aloo Gobi, my dear friend. She just won her first IRL race. So that was her first time ever racing in real life, and she won it. Like right after, like you're sending it. So Aloo Gobi is, oh my god. I really hope I can see you back on the track real soon. Oh my god. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, she's really awesome. Like, she's, as a sim racer, Aloo Gobi is super good, super fast. Like, I'm really looking forward to have a race with her. And now she's getting into real racing, which is super amazing. Because it's something that, I don't know, like, that's something that I never know before. Like, oh my god, getting into it. And, like, Aloo Gobi said that it's very physical. Real racing is physical. So, did you do any training or like, I don't know, like, are you getting into like a fitness program before you're getting into real racing? Your first race?
Yeah, good question. I wanted to answer Rain.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome to any racing exploits we might pursue in the UK. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you to offer me something as a space, just a space. Like, I know you're not offering me a paid seat, but I think having friends in faraway places is better than not having friends. So thank you. One day I hope to race with you. So the question about fitness, I think something I learned very early on. It was actually a karting race that I was invited to. Shout out to the Apex V2R group. They invited me to a corporate buyout karting event, and it was an endurance race. So there was many karts involved, and it was about I think it was a 3-hour endurance race. I was racing with this other really, really fast woman called Erica Hoffman. She's gone on to do really, really good things as well. But in that race, I was absolutely beat. If you're not ready for a long distance event, a long distance exhaustion of your body, of your mental state, you're gonna make mistakes. And I made lots of mistakes in that race. Like, people were telling me to come into the box, and I just wasn't understanding what they were waving at me for. Like, what kind of a rookie mistake is that, right? Like, and in that moment, my arms were just absolutely fatigued out, and I was just losing. I was losing it. So from that moment on, I realized, like, you have to do some conditioning. It doesn't have to, it can be modest. So what I do, I definitely just go to my gym. I do some running. I increase my heart rate for the same amount of time I expect my race to be. So if my race is 25 minutes like it was, I will train 25 minutes of jogging.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh? Pretty easy.
Non-stop, right? But it has to be non-stop, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll allow myself a little walking for a moment here or there, but the point is to keep your heart rate elevated, and yeah, it's about being as maximum as you can.
Wow.
And then I just do some weightlifting, and I just try to train my shoulder muscles and my triceps and my biceps and my forearm. It's hard to explain if you don't have pictures, but if you just pick up a dumbbell and start waving it around, you kind of feel the same muscles that you use in the sim, and you can kind of just continue if it feels right.
Okay. Right. But doing the cardio things like jogging is like quite a mandatory, you're saying?
Yeah, this one is definitely mandatory because something about our body, something about our physiology doesn't allow us to exert ourselves unless we've exerted ourselves in the past. And I mean that in the recent past. So, the first time I started conditioning myself, I found myself absolutely beat after 5 minutes of jogging. And the next day I was able to increase it to 15 minutes, and the next day I was able to immediately increase it to 25 minutes. So I think a sedentary lifestyle can really bring down your cardio and your stamina, but you can really quickly pick it back up if you just continue with it for 1, 2, 3, or even just 3 days can set you up really well.
Yeah, sometimes I forgot. Not like I forgot, but I didn't I kind of underestimate how physically it can be real racing. Like, it's not just about training, but like sitting in a race car, it's super super hot in there. Like, you have to deal with everything is not comfy for you. It's not comfortable for your body, but you have to like control your mind, like keep calm, although that everything is not ideal, as in like it's hot. Like, I think my friend who works in a NASCAR Xfinity team said like it can be like 140 degrees inside the race car on a sunny day. Like, yeah, you have to deal with that for hours. So I was like, yes, it is hella physical. Like, I'm sorry for the bad words, but it's crazy physical, like crazy. And the force, like when you're driving, like it's tiring. Like, it's really, really physical.
Yeah, definitely. I think after the event that I went to, my body was beat. I was bruised up because I was colliding with the chassis inside the pedal box.
Oh, wow.
My shoulders were beat up. My hips were beat up. Those things you can't really condition for, but even my arms. I'm hoping to rest this weekend. I just want to rest and recover. So, yeah, it definitely takes a beating on your body. So you have to be ready for it. I think it's better if you are ready, because then you can just focus on the racing.
Yeah, you can
and
focus
feel
on
good
your
about
race.
yourself that I came here ready. And I felt that this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, before we end the stream and everything, I got this question. So this is something that related to your real life racing experience. So in the simulator we can have like unlimited time to practice the track over and over before we get into the race. But in real life racing, our time is super, super limited, right? It's not like we can have like lots of time to practice. So how did you like manage everything like during the practice? Like how did you learn the track and everything? Like how did you prepare everything?
That's a great question. So it's a little bit of a cheat answer. I use sim racing.
Really?
Because the track was replicated and the car was replicated.
Right.
The track, unfortunately, was not a laser scan, but it was enough to get the gist of the racing line.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very easily able to use my racing experience on the sim and just like get to the track and just get on it. So that's one thing. Two, follow my YouTube because I'm going to post my first ever practice session. And I'm planning on doing a commentary over it, just about dedicating it to what it takes to practice to win a race. What does it take? What do you need to do in a practice session to, one, understand the car, understand the kind of modifications you need to do to damper rates, tire pressures, and any other sort of geometry that you can easily like switch. Because you need to be on it from the beginning. So that's what I did. I took it safe. I took it easy. I verified and tested the correlation, another Formula One word, between my sim and the real life feelings that I was feeling. And once I was confident that it's kind of just like the sim, I really just started testing myself. And it was corner by corner. I was like, okay, let's go fast in this corner. Let's go fast in this corner. Let's go like fast in this corner. So, so that's what I would say. That's how I did it.
So David, here's Aloo Gobi. So she just made the YouTube channel. Oh my god, both of us giving the link. So everyone give a follow for our dear friend Aloo Gobi on YouTube, Aloo Gobi Racing. Because thank you so much. And don't forget to follow us also at INIT Esports on YouTube and also on social media, because we'll be like posting any latest race on the Screen to Speed and also the upcoming event on INIT, because we have a lot of event going on INIT. Like for example, since I'm working on INIT, now I went to DreamHack, I went to Formula One, like a lot of like random, not like random, but okay, now I'm going to DreamHack. Okay, now I'm going to this. Now I'm going to there. And I think Yvonne will also going somewhere, I think in October, but I cannot tell you. I don't know if it's in October or September. I cannot tell you. I almost spilled the tea, but no, I'm not gonna spill the tea. But yeah, Aloo Gobi, I'm really looking forward to see like the commentary video and also everything. And we will share. Guys, don't worry guys, by the way, if you missed the start of the stream today on INIT Talks, don't worry, because we'll be posting the clips on our social media at INIT Esports on Instagram, and we will also share a little bit, not like a little bit, it depends on how many clips we can make out of it. So I will put some footage from Aloo Gobi first race in the Formula Vee. So yeah, please give us a follow also at Aloo Gobi Racing, at INIT Esports, at Screen to Speed. Yay! So Gobi, this weekend we'll be back racing in the Screen to Speed Summer Cup. Are you going to race this weekend? Hello? Oh no! Again, it's okay guys. Audio problem. It happens to everyone, every streamer.
Check 1, 2.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. So, sorry, what was your question?
So are you ready to racing back on the Screen to Speed Summer Cup this weekend?
Oh, I'm a little bit unprepared.
Oh,
I'm a little bit unprepared, but you know, it's not about. I'm just there to have fun. You know, I just want to show up and be there for the girls and have a fun time. It's a great track. It's going to be Spa. It's going to be F4 cars. It's going to be 2 races.
Yes.
And it's going to be inverted grid for the second race. Like, That is so fun.
The reverse grip. At least this week we'll be racing in Spa. Okay, it's a bigger track. Okay,
Good one. Yes, it is. It is a bigger track, so
it's a bigger
there's
track.
space for dodging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Hamish is next year prototypes. I wish you the best of luck. That is a dream. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely tune in. I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Hope I can perform as good as I want. And
Yeah. Hope to see your domination on the track because you're fast. Like you're quick on the track. Okay? Because yeah, you're quick and you're good. You're a pro. I consider you as a pro sim racer, and you are like my pro friend, one of my pro friend in sim racing. So like I'm expecting like to see you on the starting from the front and nailing it. It's Spa at least. It's Spa. I don't know, cause Spa being Spa, I think for me like it's a fun track to drive, and yeah. Meanwhile, Road Atlanta is more narrow, like it's more challenging with the elevation change and blind corners. So I'm expecting like, okay, we will see, like, we'll see. I hope we will survive. So, are we running the open or fix? I think it's open, right? For the screen.
yeah, it's gonna be open. PayPal $5 if you got a nice setup. Let me know. F4 cars.
Yeah, for the F4, let me know. Any good setup shop, let us know. Or do you know how to make your own setup? Or no, not really. Or you're not really worried about setup in general?
Yeah, I would say I'm a little bit more confident now than I was. I understand the geometry, so that's camber, caster, and toe.
Mm-hmm.
I also understand that it's a mix between, it's all about reducing grip, trading off grip between the front and rear axle. Something I'm very sensitive to is ride height, so that's an easy change to make. So yeah, I can build a competent setup, but I wouldn't say I'm ready to start commercializing my setups or selling that. So I'm still working on it, but I can make something all right.
So how do you understand the car setup? Like, are you like watching a video on YouTube or reading something on the internet, or how?
So shout out to Niels Najoks in ACC. Shout out to
Neil.
I forget the name of
hold on.
the service provider who really helped me understand both data and the kind of trade-offs and the influence of each kind of change that you make. So, Nils is just dropping knowledge bombs in his videos, and I love those. I think, yeah, and there's a couple of other content creators that are focused on creating really good setups and also knowledge bombing about why we're making certain setup changes that I learned from. So yeah, a lot of it's from learning from other people, and some of it is just like trying and testing, but that's not so good because it's not like educated. So I like to make the educated decisions, and they're more often than not correct.
Right. I think for me, until now, mostly in iRacing, I'm running the fixed setup, so I don't need to worry about setup. I can focus on driving, like instead of like worrying about the setup, because I still don't know the fundamental about car setup. Like, what do I need to change if I'm having this question? Where do I go? What do I change? I still need to learn about that. So for me right now, I'm focusing more on, just drive, get into the server. Don't worry about setup. Everybody running the same car, same setup. So okay, you go. But I would love to understand about car setup at some point, like learning like what do I need to change if I'm having this issue going into the corner. Something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the harder things to do. And sometimes just even vocalizing what you want to change is different. So, yeah, it's definitely a journey that I've been through and a journey that everyone should go through to better themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like about sim racing, because it has a deep learning curve. So it can take a long time for people to actually like get good at it. So like, okay, it takes time, it takes more effort, but on the other hand, it feels less boring for me. I don't think I can get into a hobby this long before. Like, I always like changing my hobbies from this to that. I get bored or I don't have a motivation to continue. But in sim racing, I feel like, okay, there's a lot to learn, and okay, I'm like, okay, today I'm learning something new. Today I'm learning this, that. Like, it really always like give me a chance to push myself harder, you know.
Yeah, fixed setups it's a blast because you just show up and race and just show what you're made of.
Yeah.
And thank you, Yvonne. Aris is a great reminder of Aris Drives. He used to make really lovely videos about the way his game works. And what better spokesperson than Aris himself to talk about what's the right way to set up a car, because he is a master. I really enjoyed his videos as well. Yeah, because he's a real race car. Well, he drives race cars to learn about them, and he's also bringing that sort of knowledge into sim racing. So we owe it all to him, and the people he worked with for really making a really great environment for us all to learn from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nails, artists. I mean, big shout out to all the creators out there who produce like an educational content for everyone who just got into sim racing. Because, yeah, it can be getting into sim racing as a newbie can be a lot. Like, can be too much to learn. And at the start, you don't know what you don't know. That's how I feel in sim racing. So, yeah, having like David Samson, Aris Drive, Nils, and you, the upcoming sim racing guru coming up, giving a tips. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like, really, like, thank you for all the dedication for educating us to become a better driver. Educating me to be a better driver. Thank you so much. And Gobi, I'm really looking forward to see your first YouTube video. What is it going to be? Your first YouTube video?
Well, the first one is just going to be a replay of race 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's from my car. It's from a roll hoop camera, so you can check out the sort of action that Formula 1200 always delivers.
Oh.
Unfortunately, race 2, the really important trophy race for which I won, wasn't filmed from my camera.
Mm-hmm.
But it was filmed from another competitor's camera, so we're going to see about maybe sharing that in a unique way.
Yes.
So yeah, that's going to be the race. Race 1 will be the first uploaded video. It's actually processing now, so in the next 30 minutes it will post.
You're uploading while doing an interview. Nice.
Truthfully, I had it uploaded before. It's just taking a bit of time. Okay. And then hopefully I get my commentary out on the practice session. So yeah, that's what you have to look forward to.
And maybe I really hope to see some sim racing tips from you. Like a content about sim racing tips. Maybe like, I don't know, like from the simple things like how to start sim racing. For example, like what do you need to learn at first? Or maybe like sim racing for a newbie. Or how to set up a car even. Maybe you can make that.
Sure, yeah. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I like to keep it simple. So I'm sure there's some people looking for very simple and thoughtful exercises and ideas for the way their sim rig is set up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Simplicity is the way to go.
Yeah. I would love to see, like, I would love to watch you watch your YouTube content, YouTube video. Oh, actually, oh, here, I will give you a sub, of course, because yes, we need to youtube.com. All right, before we end the stream, by the way, Gobi, oh god, it's more than 2 hours. Oh my god, I keep on saying this every week to everyone. It's gonna be a 1 hour talk. Maybe starting off next week, I will say it will be a 2 hour talk. Keep on saying like, okay, I will try my best to keep it like below 1 hour max, but I'm always having a good time every time I'm having this INIT talk. And thank you so much, by the way, Gobi, for today. Like, it's been really nice. Like, thank you so much for sharing your story, and also like it was a nice talk, like talking about real racing, talking about your experience in your race. And yeah, thank you very much, by the way, Gobi.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely mine. To speak about my time and my experiences with someone so knowledgeable about sim racing is, I couldn't ask for anything better. So thanks to you for having me.
Yes, of course. And I really hope that, I will see you in the stream. Like, I will see you streaming again next time. Maybe you can stream some sim racing also. Maybe you can stream some iRacing, maybe like some official, so we can hang out and see how you do it. Because I learned a lot from watching people stream, more than I'm watching a YouTube video. Like, I'm watching people on the stream how to race and try to like follow that, you know.
Interesting. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
You learn more from the streams. Okay, go. Is it about the talking or is it about the driving?
Driving. So here's the thing. Every time I'm hanging on someone's stream, it really depends on who I'm watching or what I want to watch. If I want to watch, like for example, it's Monday, it's a new track, new week on iRacing, I will watch like some different people like Pablo, David Samson. Every Monday, I think he's like testing out all the GT3 cars, like which one is the best for this track, for this specific track of the week. So if I want to watch an educational site, like I will go to David, I will go to Daniel Morat. Well, a lot of driver, I follow a lot. But if I want to watch something for entertaining, I will go to other people. So it really depends. But I think most people who watch iRacing, who plays iRacing, kind of want to see the driving, you know. Because it's easy to watch a tutorial about how to drive around the track, but it's not that everybody can actually show you how to race. So during the live stream, you can actually see how people, like, how they racing, how they overtake, how they take a chance, how they defend, something like that.
Very interesting. Okay, I can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's something I should try. I can't promise that I would be very interactive. I get so focused and kind of shy, so.
No worries. Like, this is what I learned from the community. So some people kind of expect one streamer to drive to be good because they're expecting a good race. They want to learn how to race. But there are other streamers, someone like me who's here for the entertainment and driving. So that's why I'm having like a lot of chat. But even in my race, sometimes in official, I don't talk. Yesterday in my race, I don't talk much because I was focusing in the race. But don't feel bad, okay? Don't feel bad if you're focusing on your race because you're racing and we understand, you know?
Everyone's funny. You should see Elz's focus face when she is mid-race. Elz, can you show us this focus face?
I can't focus right now because I'm not racing.
Okay, I won't put you on the spot.
Elz didn't talk. Is that even possible? I know, right? It's hard. I mean, you can buy my silence for $8,000 a month, Aaron. With $8,000 a month, I will focus and I will be like super silent. So yeah, with $8,000 a month, you can buy my silence, bro. Aaron.
That's affordable for someone.
Yeah, I mean, 8,000 is not expensive if you have enough. If you have $8 million, 8,000 is not expensive. So Aaron, do you have $8 million? The mute button is free. You're so rude in every channel. I cannot believe that. Stop following me everywhere, Aaron. Oh my god, what are you doing here, Aaron? And I can be with you with it in the voice chat, Aloo. I will support you. Oh my god, Yvonne, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting all the
Yeah.
girls in the community. Like, Yvonne is the real mother of sim racing. That's how I see it. Like the sim racing mother. Like supporting everyone and also like, yeah, thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you so much for all you do to us in the community, to all the girls in the sim racing community since the MFR until now, the screen to speed era. Mother, feeling old now. No, you're not old. You're just
That's
a
what I
mother.
wanted to say. Yvonne is also a wicked fast, brave driver. So don't ever count Yvonne out.
That's oh wait, 24 hours interview is easy for me. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Please buy my silence. I cannot stop. I just love like having a chat, interacting with you guys. So yeah, don't blame me. Don't blame me. But if you wanna see a focus sim racer, I think you can watch the upcoming stream of Aloo Gobi, guys. If you wanna
Huh?
watch
Who?
You're going to stream iRacing, right? You're going to stream iRacing. A VR streamer? Oh my god. So you're racing in VR, right?
I'm kind of switching it up. So what do you want to see me racing?
Maybe I don't know. If maybe VR, maybe? Because you're racing in VR. But I don't know how is the experience going to be for the viewers.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, you won't be able to see my eyes. Usually I stick a big flat panel in front of my rig,
Mm-hmm.
and I just do it that way. I actually have a solution for head tracking that allows me to use my head still.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting. So VR, huh?
Yeah. Because I know some VR iRacer on Twitch. Or maybe because we had this conversation before, like speaking about the VR and how is that helping you in real racing. Maybe if you're streaming with VR, I can like see like where your eyes seeing, like when you're going into the corner. Because we're talking about eyes, right? Remember? So maybe
We yeah. The eyes famously are the window screen of the sim racer's soul. That is so true. That is
That
so
is
true. We
enough.
were talking about vision and eyes, and but you know, I don't. Here's what I'll say. I can't promise VR streams every time, but we can do it once in a while, sure.
yeah, sure. I would love to see it. Like, go be back on streaming. I love seeing my friends streaming. Like, really. Like, if you like it, if you like sim racing, and if you wanna be a streamer, then you should do it. Like sanding it, floor it. If you want it, you should do it. No hesitation, and don't you ever think twice. Just hit the like button. Because at least for me, let's be honest with you, the easiest job in my work is hit the like button. That's the easiest job. At the start, it was the hardest to press the like and sit down for hours. That was like the hardest for me, but now it's the easiest job.
That is so profound. Really, that is so profound. Yeah. I'm very shy about streaming, and okay. I'll think about that. Thank
Mhm.
you.
I mean, you can be a talkative streamer. Like, you can have a chat, but if you don't wanna have a chat, you wanna focus on your race, you have a reason for that. Because it's sim racing. It's not like you can look into the chat and hanging all the time. So don't feel bad if you think that you don't feel like you wanna talk. But it's nice to have your friend, like for example, like me, Yvonne, in the chat, like hanging with you. So you don't feel like you will feel less nervous when you're having your friend like hanging in the chat or like streaming on it. I know I miss your stream, your first stream. Remember before your IRL stream, I think you tried to stream. Remember?
There were many false starts. It's hard. It's, in case you don't know, IRL streaming is hard. IRL streaming in non-downtown spaces is even harder.
Like connection and everything.
Yeah, connection is a bit of an issue. So if anyone has a link to Starlink, let me know. And sometimes, like, the local go-kart track I go to is not covered in a cellular area. Like, everything around it has a cell space, but this one place is zeroed out for some reason. And yeah, it's very unusual for some place that's aimed at recreation and where people will congregate at has no cell reception. But everywhere else is kind of acceptable. Even the real racetrack I went to had better cell reception than the go-kart track that was not out in the boonies.
Maybe if you go to go-kart, you can like just record it, because if you're thinking about how your stream is going to look like on Twitch, you know, like it can distract you sometimes. So maybe if you know, like, okay, this place has zero connection, like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna stream, maybe you can like record it, you know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I do think that would be a boost. Yep.
Yeah.
Just not having that pressure.
Because you don't want to think about anything else. And I mean, I have to admit, yesterday in my stream, I had to fix the camera issue in the middle of the stream when I had to fix my camera for the iRacing broadcast. It was really stressful to think about it. Like, it was like, oh God, I'm so tired, you know. So you want to take out that problem when you're driving, when you're racing, right? So next time you can just record it. If you know, like, yeah.
I agree. Yvonne says, I'm gonna cycle up to Stelvio. Ooh, fancy. For a good charity. I need to see if I can live stream that. Interesting. I think you can. I mean, I don't know how fast you drive on a bicycle, but if it's less than about 25 kph, a cell connection should be fine. Because if you exceed about 25 kph, your cell signal quality drops dramatically.
Oh yeah? Huh.
That's why I need like specialized equipment to do all that live stream stuff on the racetrack. It's a bit of a hassle. So yeah, I could just record it and show you guys.
Like make like a recap from your race, you know, like here's the recap, blah blah blah. Like you can put that on your YouTube, you know.
Yeah, would you watch that? That would be so cool.
So if you can, I don't know about everyone else, but for me, a YouTube video should be, at least for me, maximum is like 12 to 15 minutes, because if it's too long, I'm not gonna watch it. Like I'm being like brutally honest to everyone here. Like the maximum length of YouTube video that I'm going to watch is like 10 to 12 minutes. If it's like too long, it depends on the topic, but in general for me, I would skip like a super long video, or I will just like watching it like from the exact part that I want to watch, you know.
Interesting you mentioned that. I really think YouTube watching, the style of watching has changed, because I find myself more and more watching YouTube as a side monitor thing instead of like a front monitor thing. Because yeah, the content has gotten really long form, and yeah, you can kind of watch it at the side of your eye and still have a really good time.
Yeah, I mean, people can be different. Like I know, like there are some people that still like consuming like a long content on YouTube, but from my perspective, because I kind of have like a limited time, like it's not like I can sit down and watch something for hours. So I prefer like watching a video that is like short enough, like not too long, but it has everything, like it has all the information in it, you know, like not much fancy opening, not much like like a lot of promotion kind of thing, like just straight to the point, and That's all I want to watch,
I think that's very wise, yeah. Yvonne says it's the highest mountain in Europe. What you can climb with a bike?
Oh,
No
wow.
kidding. I don't think I'll go faster than 25. I
You
need to reach
the top. Oh wait, even you're
That
going
is-
to cycling? What? So fun.
That is
that's the highest
unreal.
the highest mountain you can climb with a bike. Oh my god. I watch like a biking videos like in Europe, like they can go like biking with in a rocky road, something like that. Like what? That's so cool. Super fun.
Shouts out to all the motorcyclists, the bicyclists, and the mountain bikers who are in sim racing because actually, they have all the secrets about grip.
Oh yeah?
Did you know?
No?
Yeah. Talk to any mountain bicyclist and they'll give you the right line for Bathurst. I think a lot of people have the incorrect line, but I knew
Oh.
a mountain bicyclist who knew how to go down the mountain the safest and the right way, and he was so fast. Shout out to Jonas Savolainen,
Ah.
proper driver, that one.
Wow.
I drove with him in SimGrid series.
Wow. And he's a cyclist, basically. And
A downhill mountain biker. That's
a mountain biker. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Wow. So, wow. My line at Butters is still bad. Like, so bad. Just trying to survive. I don't think, like, I maximize, like, the line over there. Just focus on surviving. What? Shout out.
That's so relatable. Just survive.
Yeah, just to survive. Oh, anyway, I'm sorry I didn't see you there, Pepsi Man. Oh my god, Seb. Oh my god, Gobi, meet my friend, Seb Kowalski. I call him Pepsi Man, so he's the F1 esports engineer. So welcome. Welcome to
welcome.
F1 esports scene, and meet my friend from SRO, Aloo Gobi. Hi Pepsi Man. Hi Pepsi Man. Hi. Welcome to my stream. Jonas is incredible. What a guy. Yeah.
He's a proper esports legend, that guy. Also, yeah, Seb, if you know a lot about F1, I need to learn. I need to learn in 48 hours.
Yeah. If you wanna talk a lot about F1, like a deep talk about F1, you can talk to Pepsi Man. Seb. Not Pepsi Man. I don't know why I call him Pepsi Man.
That reminds me of that PS1 video game. I love that video game.
Yeah, that
Do
one.
you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I was talking from
Oh, I couldn't hear you.
Hello?
You muted?
No? Can you hear me? Oh wait.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was the connection. Yeah, I was talking about that Pepsi Man. You know that game? You know, like you're running, catching the can.
So it is about the game. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, that's my favorite game. Other than Gran Turismo, when I was a child, I'm a big fan of Pepsi Man.
What an awesome shared experience.
Yeah.
Pepsi Man and
Oh my
Gran
God.
Turismo.
Yes. Oh my god, I'm so happy we share the same game. Like when we were a child, Pepsi Man. Every time I'm talking about Pepsi Man, it's not like everybody played that game before, so I had to like give a YouTube video like this is Pepsi Man, the game. But now you know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, I love that game back in the day.
I don't know what it is, and perhaps we shouldn't tell PepsiCo about this, but I habitually drink Pepsi and I habitually eat Lay's chips. They really got me.
They really got me. But now, when I was a child, I am a Pepsi girl. But now, since now I grow up, I become a Coca-Cola girl. I'm sorry, Pep.
You love the finer things in life.
Yeah.
Must be it.
Coca-Cola from last night. Still black, not green yet. So I still can drink this.
You're gonna drink it? Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I will test it. I will let you know if that's good to go. Oh god, by the way, Gobi. almost 3 hours. We have to end.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Should we call it here?
Yeah.
Say goodbye to all the lovely chatters. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I hope I answered your questions. Like I said, if you have more questions, reach out to me on Twitter.
Yes,
Twitter.
Twitter.
X.com.
Yes.
I don't want to get in any trouble. Aloo__Gobi. And
On YouTube?
on YouTube, you can reach me at Aloo Gobi Racing. It has my photo on there, so it's easy to find me.
Yes.
And Twitch, I'm Miss Gobi, MS Gobi.
MS Gobi on Twitch.
You might find my IRL streaming there. So thank you again. Thank you for INIT Esports for having me and listening to my story. It's been a pleasure. Elz, it's been a pleasure. Let's chat again very soon, yeah?
Yeah, so hope we catch up with you soon, Gobi. And thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much. It's been nice having you all. So we'll be back next week with a new guest. So if you haven't followed, feel free to follow us on social media at INIT Esports and at Screen to Speed. And don't forget to drop a follow and subs for Aloo Gobi. Okie dokie. Bye Ren, bye Ivan, bye Ash, bye Pepsi Man, bye David Sampson and everyone. Thank you so much, and I will see you this Saturday for the second round of Screen to Speed. So bye-bye. Ciao, ciao. Bye, everyone.
INIT Esports focuses on sim racing events and digital tournaments. They bring esports content to fans and sponsorship opportunities to brands while maximizing audience reach across multiple sports, industries, and platforms. INIT Esports is a woman-led company where diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility is in their DNA. And their platform aims to combat bullying and cheating to help make the esports world as safe and fair as possible. To learn more, be sure to log on to www.initesports.gg or follow them on social media at INIT Esports. Join their Discord, check out their YouTube channel, or follow their live content via Twitch.
This episode has been brought to you by Grand Touring Motorsports as part of our Motoring Podcast Network. For more episodes like this, tune in each week for more exciting and educational content from organizations like the Exotic Car Marketplace, the Motoring Historian, Break Fix, and many others. If you'd like to support Grand Touring Motorsports and the Motoring Podcast Network, sign up for one of our many sponsorship tiers at www.patreon.com/GT Motorsports. Please note that the content, opinions, and materials presented and expressed in this episode are those of its creator, and this episode has been published with their consent. If you have any inquiries about this program, please contact the creators of this episode via email or social media as mentioned in the episode.